Grindbin listeners, before we get in the episode today, we're just going to let you know that the Binnies are on the way.
Absolutely.
Yep. Mm-hmm. They're a little bit late thanks to exorbitant editing time. Many
True
hours.
Grindbin fashion.
Yeah, but we got to make that show worth it.
It was actually more of the Grindbin Actors Guild got in the way.
Yes, which is all just Chris Man. Right. So what you're going to hear tonight is an episode
Sag of the Grindbin.
You're going to hear an episode tonight that Man and I recorded by ourselves, and you're going to learn why we should probably never record an episode by ourselves again. Because, Bobby, you're not on this episode.
I'm not. It's my greatest episode.
You get mentioned quite a bit.
I'm excited. I have not heard it yet. I'll be listening to it along with the fans when it drops.
Yeah, we need somebody to rein us in, and we are not good on our own.
Well, I do consider myself the conscience of the Grindbin.
And we got to say that I feel like Bobby, as a upset parent, will be listening to this episode, shaking his head, going like, "I'm so disappointed in you guys."
The next time we get together to record, I'm just going to take a few seconds to just stare.
And he's going to take off his belt and do that cracking
And Chris
sound.
is already, he's actually into that, so... But before we get into it, guys, we'd like to say a special thanks to our Patreon members. If you want to join our Patreon and get that exclusive Binnies pre-show, as well as our soon-to-be-uploaded episode at the end of this week, actually, another mini-bin coming out where we recorded another TV show, Me and the Chimp.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
It's a new high for the show.
It's a fun one. We'd like
you
to
can hear our enthusiasm. You really can tell that we're loving this.
But we'd like to say thank you to our Grindbin All-Stars.
That's right.
Chris?
John Corbin, David Peterson, GWC308, Chuck Rodriguez, Iago Faustus.
And we appreciate every single person that's donating to the Grindbin. Thank you again.
And also, if you are new and you're above the Check It Out tier and you have not received a pin for the Blairvember, let us know immediately and we will get you a Blairvember pin while they last.
Yep, and thank you to all our Patreon members over the $10 tier as well, which is Jonah Baker, Shane McCullum, Richard Garcia, Amber Carson Miller, Gregory Freeman, Ben Wood, and Huey Chambers. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Yep.
Y'all be receiving more gifts from us in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So enjoy Breaking All the Rules, where Chris and I break all the rules on the unofficial episode 100, actually episode 101, because it's whatever.
And you can join Team Dad Bobby Trivet by being not mad but disappointed.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Chris, man.
Today we're going to be talking about 1985's Breaking All the Rules.
Gotta get it in.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
I said hooker. I don't know.
Spooky got no real rhythm.
Hello, Pizza Man.
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love funny games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
How the hell would women live? I'm horny. And maybe Daddy wouldn't have to kill himself because he couldn't get us up anymore. What a shame.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get green. And more.
So, Chris, we're here, just an old school bin today, just you and me.
A twofer.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. I wonder how the audience is going to feel about this, you know?
They've already tuned out. They're listening to the new podcast, Hughes Clues.
Yeah, the Hughes Clues podcast. Since Hughes has now quit the Grindbin, go ahead and send your angry tweets over to Hughes. The secret heel of the group. He turned heel and left the Grindbin. So Chris, this movie, can't find anything about it online. Just like literally nothing, right?
Really? That's a disappointment, because I want to know more. I want to know a lot. You know why? Because I always like the sound when I watch a movie. That's the sound of my fly going down, by the way.
Yes, Chris is just opening his can of whatever it is. Not LaCroix, but a great beverage. But this movie, no, can't find anything about it other than it's a Canuck movie from Canada, our neighbors to the north. Oh. They produced this movie. The budget is estimated at $2 million, but I don't know any of the box office, and I assume there's a $0 return on this movie. No. This was recommended to me by one of the Grindbin 4, which is actually Grindbin 3. You know, a while ago. We're not going to say who it was. They know who they are.
It's another Mandela effect. We thought it was 4, and now we just misremembered it as 3.
Yes, well, as you know, the Grindbin 4, it's now a Grindbin 3. Grindbin 4, maybe there's a secret man involved in there. As I said, I couldn't figure out who was the other 4th member, so it's just the Grindbin 3, but we're still calling him the Grindbin 4. The original 4 members of the Grindbin community, the people who listened from the start, as we all know, David from Australia, Chuck with his upchucks, and Sean Thompson from looserounds.com. And you know what? One of them recommended this movie, so we'll find out who.
Root him out. Smoke him out.
So, Chris, before we get into it, I have a little bit of a review for you, okay? So we can find out a little bit of information about this movie. The review is titled Filming Locale, and the review is written by 124888625.
Did we even need to know that? I mean, you said that so eloquently.
I thought you'd like it. It's either an inmate number or a robot.
Or a sex offender.
Yep, could be. Number, Let's see. Definitely with this movie. Definitely. This was written in August 2009. My brother and I were extras in this movie when it was filmed in 1984. I have a cousin, Andrea Kenyon, who is a casting director. She's on IMDb if you look her up. She got us in when we were visiting that summer. For the person who was wondering, the amusement park is La Ronde in Montreal, Quebec, Canada.
The name of the park is La Ronde?
La Ronde. La Ronde.
Yeah, La Ronde.
Yeah, La Ronde in Montreal, Quebec. It is still going strong today. It is on the Isle St. Helena. I really don't know anything about Canada, so I'm probably butchering this.
It's all right.
A small island between the island of Montreal and the mainland. The island was originally the site of the Expo 67, which Montreal hosted. Nobody gives a shit about that.
No, fuck the French part of Canada. Really, Montreal, fuck you. We had bad experiences.
Yeah, La Ronde.
You guys are shitheads.
Nobody in this movie spoke French. The movie was originally going to be called Fun Park. I have yet to see it. They're in the movie. They have yet to see it. Maybe that's for the better? Question mark?
Guess so.
If anyone knows where I can find it, please let me know. So go ahead and email 124888625 over in Montreal's prison system and tell him where he can find this movie.
Mike, all of Montreal is a prison system. All right.
Hey!
All right. I'm not withholding any hate for Montreal. It's coming out.
Oh, man. Well, as we know, the two biggest listenerships to this podcast are the Americans and the French.
Oh.
And we have yet to be contacted by a French. So
you're right. In fact, I was, admittedly, someone from France tried to hack me. So
that was true. I remember that.
Fuck you double this time.
Chris is in one of his moods today. Just so you know, listeners, he is definitely in one of his moods. He showed up here to Grindbin Studios. He is winded. He only brought one microphone with
because, excuse me, you come to Grindbin Studios, usually there's microphones lying around.
Well, I just assumed.
And nobody told me to bring an extra mic. I brought one for me. I'm a self-assailing man.
He's trying to sabotage it from the start. So if you're wondering why I sound a little bit different tonight, it's because I'm recording on the much more expensive microphone we're using here at Grindbin Studios, and we'll see how that goes.
By different, you mean better.
Yeah. The crew for this movie, directed by James Orr. Okay, interesting background for this director, Chris.
Can I call him James Bohr?
Whoa! No, you won't want to because of his movies, I'll tell you.
All right.
Heavy hitter. He's from Canada.
Oh.
He was the first Canadian to be accepted into the AFI in Los Angeles for the Director Fellowship.
What, do you play bass?
The American Film Institute.
I know, I'm a smart ass, right? I'm sorry. Everyone, I'm running on fumes, but
Yeah,
I'll make it through. When I'm running on fumes, it comes out.
It comes out to be Lunchwagon.
Uninhabited.
So you never know.
Yeah, CC has no filter.
Yeah, it's true. This was his first movie, but he went on to direct some more mainstream work and wrote some pretty big movies, including 1987. He wrote Three Men and a Baby. He then wrote... Chris is just giving me a look. He then wrote and directed Mr. Destiny, which is a Belushi joint.
I saw that.
Oh,
He's a
God.
baseball player, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's trying to hit a ball.
Jim Belushi's like, if I could only hit the ball, I could bend somebody.
Instead of taking one to the chin. Thank you, good night.
It's like that John Fogerty song, it's just put me in coach the whole time, right?
Fuck that song.
Yeah,
Jesus
worst song
Christ.
of all time. 1991, he was the producer of Father and the Bride 1 and 2, so he made those movies. He also wrote Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit.
Best tagline. I think it's the wittiest tagline I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 1995, Chris, this is where the career kind of ended. He wrote and directed Man of the House with Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Chevy Chase, a movie I saw in the theater. Now, you know who else was in that movie? Who played JTT's mom?
No.
It was Farrah Fawcett,
That was
Chris.
her, huh?
Now, Farrah Fawcett was in that movie, and I'm looking at Jonathan Orr's background, and I'm like, why does his career just stop after Man of the House? I mean, was that a bomb? I look it up, I go, no, it made $40 million in the box office.
That was the height of like the Disney live action era, too.
Yeah, and it certainly did better than Jungle to Jungle, I imagine.
Yeah.
But I'm looking, I'm like, no, it made $40 million. And then I look, I'm like, oh, they were supposed to make a sequel to Man of the House. Oh, well, he didn't work again in 2004.
No, there was a sequel to Man of the House. It was called Domestic Disturbance.
Hey, well, you know what,
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah.
Speaking of domestic disturbance, he didn't work again until 2004. So 9 years later, when he made some TV movies and stuff you've never heard about, some documentaries about cigars, because him and the star of Man of the House, one of the stars, Farrah Fawcett, were dating at the time. But on January 28th, 1998, Orr was convicted of misdemeanor battery for attacking Farrah Fawcett for supposedly refusing his marriage proposal.
Wow.
So he gave her the ring. He's like, come on, Farrah, say yes.
There
And
you
she
go,
goes,
everybody.
"No."
Never proposed at Disneyland. There you go. There you go. You heard it here.
Apparently, he took matters into his own hands. And literally. I mean,
Yeah. What are you
Yeah,
trying
so
to-
he was convicted of that. He didn't work again for 9 years.
away from society, was he?
Now, would you think a man who made this movie would hit a woman one day? Because I do. I do.
Oh, well, there's two of us.
This is one of the most disturbing movies I think I've seen. It parades itself as some sort of like mild sex comedy.
Oh, Jesus.
Man, there's mild sex crimes.
This is made by... Okay, when he was directing this, was he and producing this, was he wearing like a fedora and a trench coat, had a neck beard?
He might have been. But Chris, I kept thinking while I was watching this, and you haven't seen this movie and you weren't on the episode, it reminded me a lot of Screwballs 2.
Huh.
And then, boy, was I surprised or not surprised to find out that one of the story credits for this movie is Rafal Zelinsky, who directed Screwballs 2.
Does this come in a box set and it comes with like a collectible like chloroform rag?
I can't believe you said the word box set, and you know exactly what type of set that's coming in, Chris. Like what its shape is, what the whole thing.
It's a thumb drive.
Oh boy. Okay, this has two writers. So besides Rafal, who the wonderful director of Screwballs 2, this was written by both a man and a woman.
Was the woman conscious?
I actually think that they have a relationship because Edith Ray and David Preston, who are the two writers on this,
I knew there were two. I called it two.
Yeah, they mostly work on the same movies, including they both wrote a movie in 1983 called Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone, which stars Molly Ringwald and Ernie Hudson.
One, please.
Yeah, we'll be checking that out.
Yeah, that sounds fucking amazing.
They also worked on one called The Vindicator in 1986, and then she went on to work in TV and wrote 16 episodes of The New Lassie in 1997, which I imagine Lassie just kind of showed up. Either they cloned him a la, Barbra Streisand's dog style, or Lassie just showed up and they were like, oh, is that collie kind of looks like Lassie? And she goes, it's the new me.
I was waiting for you to say that. I was hoping you would say that, and I'm glad you did.
And David Preston, who's the other writer, worked on all the same projects, including The New Lassie, and also wrote 6 episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh.
And he's currently working on a show called Heartland, which I've never heard anything about. The cast of this movie, Chris, Carolyn Dunn, who plays Debbie. This was her first movie. She has over 50 credits on IMDb, lots of TVs and movies. You never heard of any of them.
No.
No. Carl Morote, whatever you want to call him. He plays Jack, 72 credits. He was in 1981's My Bloody Valentine, tons of TV, a few movies, still working from what I can see. Okay, the guy who plays David in this movie, weirdest name I think we've had yet. His name is Thor Bishopbrook. Thor Bishopbrook. He has over 60 credits on IMDb, lots of TV. He was in a movie in 1978 called Blackout with Robert Carradine, which is apparently about people looting during the New York City blackout in the 70s. And I can only imagine Carradine was one of the looters. He does a lot of video game voices, including work in Jagged Alliance 1 and 2, Splinter Cell, Prince of Persia, Far Cry, and Assassin's Creed 3 and 4. So you've heard his voice.
Yeah.
And he is horrible in this movie. Absolutely horrible.
Yeah. Well, everyone's horrible in this movie.
It's-
Is there anybody, one person that redeems, the craft?
No. And what I don't understand is how this movie exists. Like, how anybody remembers this or why anybody decided to upload it to YouTube. Like, this movie is just a pile of garbage that should have just been burned with the rest of Canada. Am I right?
Anyone that's... well, just that part of Canada.
Yeah, just get rid of Quebec.
Yeah.
You know?
No one needs it.
I mean, it was filmed on an island on Quebec, so, maybe sink it. Because at this point, the only thing that Fun Park's got going for it is it probably has a big picture, and it's like, hey, we filmed this movie here. What's it called? Breaking all the rules. Supposed to be called Fun Park after the park, but then they said it's more about breaking rules because there's a lot of sex crimes in it.
My lady.
So the last one, Chris, I have is Rachel Hayward, who plays Angie.
Yeah.
Tons and tons and tons of TV. In a few movies, she has 90 plus credits. She was in the movie Wonder recently in 2017 that everybody loved, about that kid with the deformed face or whatever that was. Isn't that movie?
Yeah, the big head guy.
No, it's like they made a new movie of The Mask.
Oh, really?
With Eric Stoltz, but now it's like a kid, and it's like, look, I got a deformed face, and everybody's like, how courageous.
Because as a kid, I thought there was like Picket Fences had a guy like that. I thought it was like the same person. I thought they were the same show.
Wait, Picket Fences had a deformed face person?
Forgive me, everyone. From what I remember as a 5-year-old, I don't know.
And Chris,
Yeah.
if you're wrong, this was her first movie. But Chris, be damned if I didn't write down a few more. Man, 1992, she was in a movie, and God, do I want to see this, called Night Moves, which is spelled like a medieval knight, like knight, K-N-I-G-H-T. It stars Christopher Lambert, who everybody's favorite Highlander, Tom Skerritt, and Diane Lane. Chris.
Can I guess that there's going to be some sort of a flesh joust or
No. Okay, so what do you think this would be about?
Again, it's going to be a lot of medieval innuendos like flesh joust and what have you.
Actually, Chris, it's a chess thriller.
Chess thriller like Bobby Fischer?
Okay. A chess grandmaster is in a big tournament.
Yeah.
And when his lover is found painted up and the blood drained out of her body, he becomes the chief suspect. After he gets a call from the killer urging him to try and figure out the game, he cooperates with police and a psychologist to try and catch the killer, but doubts linger about the Grandmaster's innocence as the string of grisly murders continues. Nothing better than a chess murder.
So it's like a slow, even more boring version of Saw.
Yeah, but you know what? There's got to be a bunch of good chess puns. Like, there's got to be...
how many times...
I know there's got to be checkmate.
At the end of the movie, that's like before the credits roll, someone has to say checkmate.
But do you think they get, like, real technical with it? They're like, knight to bishop 15.
Yeah.
They're like the real deep cut chess references.
When some guy's going to go jerk off, he goes, I got to go bop the bishop.
Like, I would hope they would say, like, specific chess moves to each other, and somebody, just one guy in the audience is like, oh! God damn!
The one guy.
They're going deep! 1993, she was in Time Runner, which is a Mark Hamill joint.
Really?
Yeah, and Ray Dong Chong. You do not want to see that.
What is it about? They run through time?
Yeah, of course
Cool.
it is. I mean, if you've ever seen any Hamill, like, direct-to-video movies, yikes. Woo!
Does he have a mustache or a beard? I picture him in those, with, like, trying to get away from that image by growing out weird facial hair and beards. And
No. He's still doing the, Return of the Jedi look, I guess.
The bowl cut.
Yeah, but it's just like, man, Hollywood wasn't calling until he got the role as the Joker. 1996, she woke up pregnant. Chris, what do you think this movie's about?
There's gonna be there's a nightstand with a fedora on it and a trench coat hanging up somewhere.
No, a sleazy dentist sexually assaults his patients while they are under heavy sedatives after he performs dental surgery on them. One woman gets impregnated from such an incident and decides to fight back. The dentist denies the rape allegations, claiming they had an affair. The woman's marriage and life fall apart, trying to prove that she was raped.
It sounds like it's some shitbag Judd Apatow film.
Yeah, called Blame the Victim.
Basically, yeah.
She woke up pregnant.
Yeah.
Coming to a Grindbin near you, huh?
Yeah. That's a Mr. Crown favorite, actually. I think he has the criteria. He's waiting for the criterion.
He just woke up that way. I don't know.
That was his defense. If they just gave that DVD as a defense.
I don't know. You know, these broads, they wake up pregnant nowadays. You never know. You don't know.
They slip and fall on a penis nowadays.
There's a line in this movie, by the way, that's a little like that.
Yeah.
Whew. So before we get into it, Chris, I'm going to read you one more review. 5 out of 10.
That's very
so a
generous.
halfer.
It's a, yeah.
It says 80s parody of the 80s by RLCSLJO11. These names. April 2001. Hey, you did not have to wait for the 80s to be over to realize how ridiculous most of it was, except that it ushered in the death of disco. The producers of this movie did a great job of lampooning, and I mean poon.
Shut the fuck up. That got me.
The meaningless of that decade. In the meantime, they did a pretty good job of doing a teen comedy, a teen coming-of-age film that equally involved boys and girls. My favorite part of the film was the up the skirt and skirt hike-up shots. Don't get me wrong, though. This is not a great film. Okay, thank you.
Oh.
So,
Wow.
dude, whatever you do, just so you know, okay? Because there was a story today about how the Geek Squad's been sending a lot of information over to the FBI about customers because of things they see on people's computers. Probably not a good idea to write reviews on IMDb saying you like the upskirt shots. Just saying, might not be the best thing to do.
Proxy, motherfucker. You know? Proxy server.
As we call it, it's called getting mullered. That's the new term. So, Chris, we get into the movie. Shots of an amusement park before it opens. Is that right? The music's too good as we're playing it right now.
Any film that has, like, it sounds like it was written for the film, it's very undeserving.
Oh, one of the songs in this movie, Fun Park.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't wait to play that later.
Yeah.
It's played during a montage with no other sound, just the music. Like, this will survive on its own. Although there's only 4 lines of 4 lyrics, and that's it. And man, is it great. But no, this one's like a blues song. And we see some guy. Now, here's what I don't understand, Chris. From what I can see, the guy, our main hero of the movie, who I just call Zamboni, because he apparently works overnight at this fun park for the summer, and he just drives a Zamboni around, like on land.
It's a sweeper. It's a cleaner. So Zamboni drives this thing around, and because having worked at Disneyland, there is an overnight Cthulhu.
There's a Zamboni?
To a degree, yes.
So, Chris, by the way, Zamboni, wonderful. That's what we're going to call him, because this guy walks around with a heart on, and he drives a Zamboni. So. But I just read, is this how they do it in Canada? Like they love hockey so much that they just, and if you don't know what a Zamboni is, it's if you've ever been to a hockey game, that's what they clean the ice with. Apparently in Canada, that's a mode of transportation outside of the ice rink.
Yeah, in fact, when I was on tour there, I took one as an Uber.
You just get on the app and you're like, what do they mean Zamboni? And then he just pulls up and he's like, hey, where you going, sir? Yeah. So Zamboni Guy, okay, basically this movie makes no sense. I don't know how to explain this other than like at Knott's Berry Farm here in Southern California, they have like a knife store where you can buy like a Rambo-sized knife in a theme park, which I thought was the weirdest thing you could get in a theme park.
You can get that at Knott's?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, they used to, like a full-on, you could buy a Rambo knife. So just in case you want to go on a mass stabbing or something, you can do it right in the park, So in this theme park, there is a display for a giant diamond.
It's some diamond, which is, it has to be like worth more than the park itself.
Yes, and I'm like,
there. Why is that there?
Why is there like a crown jewel at this theme park in Montreal?
This isn't the fucking Tower of London. You're not going to see the Queen's jewels.
Look, I know they pay a lot of taxes in Canada and all, but Jesus, man, what are you guys doing with that?
Quebec? Seriously.
Like they're just giving out diamonds to theme parks, being like, "It's a national treasure," And like, here's the thing: there's no security because the one guy who's supposed to be the security guard, so Zamboni shows up and there's just a security.
It's a velvet rope.
Yeah, there's a security hat on a chair, like a folding chair that this guy apparently sits on all night and watches over in case anybody wants to break into the fun park and take the crown jewels. He just walks into this room with like this big display, and this diamond is huge.
Yeah,
I mean we're talking. I mean, to describe the size of it,
It's
like
testicular in size.
It is. It's like a testicle. And so he looks at this display case and then immediately has his Zamboner fantasy dream, which is a lot like Bobby from the van.
There's so many parallels here.
Chris, this is insane.
Yeah.
His dream is that he's lying on a bed with a woman, he's smoking a cigarette, like it's post-coitus, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden this buzzer rings, like, and then these two goons come in and take the girl away from the bed, and she's like, no, like, we don't know what's happening to her, Chris. And then we just see now serving.
Yeah.
And the number clicks over to 90. And we see this whole room full of women with like, it's like a deli, and they're holding their number, and they all stand up, and one's like, oh, it's me. Yeah. And she goes into the room, and she's going to have sex with this guy. Yeah. So his fantasy is that he has a deli full of women that they then just, I guess, cut up when they're done.
Well, this was like, the Warped Tour in the late 2000s. This was every one of those emo hardcore bands and their 14-year-old fans on their bus.
Yeah, they were handing out numbers before each show, and then they just go, burn, and then you'd see a girl go, no,
basically, yeah.
Out of the bus.
Yeah. Or onto the bus. It definitely was getting dragged on. Yeah, fuck the late 2000s. Fuck your music.
Wow. Chris, again, he's in one of these moods.
You gotta have me on more when I'm angry and pissed off.
I know.
It comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck
we
those.
We get more lunch wagons.
Fuck those eyeliner, hair swoop, metal, goth, hardcore bands. Fuck you.
I think he's got a whole other podcast going right now.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a mini on this one, Chris.
It's called Man on Cast.
So we go back to reality, right? Oh, by the way, this scene in the deli bedroom ends with him breaking the fourth wall and winking at the camera like, am I right, guys? And I'm like, no, you're not.
Nobody is with you.
He's like, come on, you're with me, right? And we're like, oh. Back to reality. Someone has gagged and beaten up the security guard. So Zamboner drives away on his Zamboner. And he's just going like doing his stupid donuts around the park.
And the person that's knocked out and gagged, it bears a striking resemblance to someone that I've talked to you about that I knew when I started my first orientation in Disneyland Cult Traditions. And there was a man, we'll call him Gary, and he was hired for custodial. And this man, I would say he bears a striking resemblance. And then to give you a little background, this would happen to this man. He shows up to the thing. It's you're supposed to dress business formal, and he shows up in a windbreaker and jeans and a cocktail shirt underneath because it was the only thing with buttons and a collar, I guess.
Oh, wow.
And so you were told, you can't wear any hats or anything like that because you're going to go around the park and they're going to be showing you everything in public. And he brings a piece of cardboard to shade his eyes.
So he got around the system.
Yeah.
He was like, they said no hats, but they didn't say anything about no boxes.
Yeah, he comes in, he holds it up, and he goes, I got him.
He did not. I got him, huh?
He was flaunting it around to everyone else in our group. Like, huh? So is that? I mean, how was the rest of your house standing up, Gary? If you took that piece of cardboard out,
He brought it with him,
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah, Chris has told me this story before. You also told me that they said, "Don't bring a lunch because we'll provide lunch for you." But he brought his own because he said,
"We brought a big igloo cooler, like literally the one you bring to like a beach for like a party of 12."
With the wheels and shit, he's just rolling up to
it needed wheels because he was having a time trying to get this thing on the shuttle, the little train we're gonna take. The parking like Gary, we can't, and he got into an argument how he needs a specialty diet and he didn't disclose
in front
that.
of, I imagine on the trail in front of all these people going to Disneyland, he's like, I'm not gonna eat that shit food in the park. That shit you give to the customers. I'm not eating that shit.
You just want to see me eat a corn dog.
Yeah, you just want something phallic in my mouth. I know how it works around here, huh?
Yeah.
So Chris, how long did he last there?
I never saw him again after that day.
Yeah, I think that was about it.
Yeah.
Did a kid drop an ice cream cone and he looks at him and he goes, why don't you pick that up? He's not going to pick it up.
Well, that was all of us.
Okay, so Chris, the security guard that's knocked out is just some old man we'll never see again.
No.
He's the only guy guarding the crown jewels. There's nothing else, apparently. And what does Zamboner do? From what I could see, he just
specific.
He just rides around. So he's not a security guard. He just apparently rides around the park in his Zamboner.
Yeah.
And does what?
Goes yeehaw, spinning around in circles.
I guess they need somebody to do it.
Yeah, he's getting paid below minimum wage, I'm sure.
Oh, well, as we'll find out, he gets paid under the table.
Yeah.
Because he's like, hey, what's your paycheck? And he's like, with the deductions.
Yeah.
This guy's...
There's also the hush money he's got to pay all the women.
Yeah. Well, he did say deductions. So the Zamboni leaves, right? And then these jewel thieves, who are the worst characters, maybe the worst characters in Grindbin history next to the criminals from Lunchwagon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. They come out. I'm not even going to explain it. There's a dumb fat guy. There's a woman who we'll later find out is supposed to be like some sort of militant lesbian, which is incredibly offensive when it gets to it. Because there's all these parts when they're like, something for like, this is what every girl wants at one point when they have the diamond. He goes, except for you. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, it's weird. And then the other guy, I don't know how you'd explain this other guy, like the other member of the crew, the main guy. He's just squirrely looking,
Oh, you mean the guy in the blue looking jacket?
Whatever the guy, remember the main jewel thief guy.
Yeah. He
just looks like a pedophile.
He looks. I'm not gonna say it. Look,
you know what? He does look French.
yeah.
So you're not gonna say it.
You said it, not me.
So they break in, they steal this jewel, they steal the diamond, right? And this alarm goes off, and they like dive into a game, and then the guy like takes a stuffed animal, cuts it open, and puts the diamond into it, and then sews it up. We see this whole process.
Yeah.
The only security is a guy in like a Yugo drives up, like an old ass shitty car with like a siren on the top of it. It says security. He just drives past. He doesn't go in to look at the diamond or anything.
No investigation. And my problem with this scene is that they are all dressed up in the uniforms of the employees that work there. So why are they running and hiding for? And the jewel is the size again of a testicle. Put it in your fucking sock.
Pocket. Yes, exactly.
Put it in the girl's fucking hair.
But
do what
Chris,
it takes. Fucking keister it. I don't give a fuck. Anything that would have prevented us for another 40 minutes of this film.
It literally makes no sense.
No.
The whole plot of this movie.
No.
Because they dive into here. The security guy can't see them. He just drives past. He doesn't get out of the car. He doesn't do anything. He just drives past.
Yeah.
They put this into a stuffed animal, and then they say, we'll come back and get it later. Even though they see the security guy drive away, I go, no, just leave with it now. You made it. You got it. You got away with it.
Yeah. Like, chuck it over the fence.
What is going on? Like, go.
Yeah.
But no, they're like, we'll get it later, and we'll win it back in this game. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Winning it back is harder than just stealing it in the first place. You know how hard those fucking Carney games are?
Yeah, exactly.
They're rigged as fuck. They expect to win it. What if they can't win it? What if they don't? What are they going to like? Hold the guy up and get it back?
Well, yeah, they keep offering money and all this. As we'll see, these guys, they're dumber than the criminals and chomps. I mean, they are really low rent.
We are on fucking Lunchwagon territory, my friend.
I think, fucking... Chris, that this might be a worse. This might be up to no legs in terms of nonsensical plan for making
a
money.
Conflict.
Yeah.
Is
we've stolen a jewel, we got away with it, but now we're gonna hide it in a stuffed animal for what reason?
That's in the park that we are trying to. I mean, you commit a crime. How do you get caught? You return to the scene of the crime.
Yeah, and they're like, we're going to come back when the park's open and somehow get this stuffed animal back by winning the game.
Because no one's going to notice the jewel is stolen.
Like, put it in a trash can if you're going to come back later. Something, right?
Yeah.
Like, this makes no sense. Or just leave with it, because there's nobody in the park and nobody's seen you and nobody's caught you. But instead, we have to have an hour of a movie.
Well, that does remind me again. It's inevitable. We're covering a theme park movie. It brings back memories of working at Disneyland, and I was getting off my shift and one night, and I was walking past the area where you board the trams that come back. The tram station next to World of Disney and Downtown Disney, and I see it's late at night after the park is closed. I see some guy digging in the bushes next to the tram. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, hey, I'm like trying to be friendly. Hey, you need help? You need help, buddy? He's like, no, I think I got him. So what are you looking for? He's like, my fucking knife.
Oh,
like, excuse me? He's like, yeah, they make me trash my knife. So I just hid it under this bush. I'm like, huh.
Did you say should have went to Knott's, sir? You can just walk right in with it.
Well, that's what all cast members say.
Just go to Knott's.
Under our breaths, we would say, go to fucking Knott's.
It's a good running joke over at Disneyland.
Yeah.
It looks like it's sold out today. Maybe you want to go to Knott's, sir.
Yeah.
With the rest of the losers. So we get back onto... Okay, so Zamboner is at home now, okay? He runs in, and we learn that school starts tomorrow. He's like a high school student, okay? And his dad is like, well, you should get some rest, because school's tomorrow. He's like, no, Dad, you don't understand. It's my last day of summer, and I'm just going to party my fucking balls off until, school's tomorrow. I don't care if I sleep for school.
Something tells me every day of school is going to be like the last day of summer for this guy.
Every day is like this guy, it's almost like he has terminal cancer.
Yeah.
Because he lives every day like it's his last. He lives every hour like it's his last.
Like it's the last conjugal visit.
Yes, this man is insane. Yes, it's like, he's like some sort of guy on death row where they somehow let him out one day before he's supposed to be, put to the chair.
Yeah.
That's him. And what does he do with his day? Oh, boy. So he gets home. There's this whole thing like with his family, and his dad talks about the good old days when he'd go buy pencils before school or something. And all like his sister and him are just laughing under their breath about this. So Zamboner goes and changes. And of course, Chris, this fucking guy has a Time Man of the Year mirror in his closet that he looks at and goes, hey, with the 2 finger guns to it. Like, he is just, he's our real guy. Then we cut to a woman's butt. So this movie...
Naturally.
Yeah.
Naturally.
We cut to a shot of a woman's panties that say, I heart you on them. And,
That's something you wear like on a bachelorette party.
Yeah, it's actually quite shocking to just, this is what we cut to. We're like, oh, it's one of these.
Yeah.
And she's working out, and then her... mom's like, oh, we're going to the hair salon to get you a new haircut before school. We go to the hair salon. She's got like a 1950s cut.
She's got like the Jackie O, like pre-presidential.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look that bad. It
No.
looks, it's fine, but she plays it off like it's the worst haircut ever.
Yeah.
And the hairdresser says, you look cute as a button. She says, who wants to fuck a button?
Yeah.
And then her mom's like, I heard that. And she goes, Mom, I'm 16 now. I'm a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, 16, huh?
Yeah.
This lady is like bordering 30. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's one like, why is it with this? Like, we just covered Angel recently, and we have this movie. It's like, you don't need to, like, it's just bizarre saying like 16. Like, come on, it's like, give us the benefit of the doubt.
Well, for some people out there, unfortunately, it's called fetishes.
I know, Chris. That's
Yeah.
what concerns me, is that this
Yeah.
movie is, everybody's supposed to be 16, and there's tons of nudity, and the first thing we saw is this woman's ass working out, and they're like, oh, by the way, she's 16. Hey!
Yeah.
And everybody's like, okay.
Yeah.
So the Zamboner, Chris, what does he do with his day off? Well, he goes to a fucking joke store downtown. So this is what he does with his day off, is he goes to a joke store and he's buying a mask that's a literal dick face.
Yeah, I think it's like it looks like Richard Nixon. I think it's a gag of like Dick Nixon, but the nose is like a giant penis.
Yes, it's like a Dick Nixon mask with a dick for a nose.
Yeah.
And he's the guy at the joke store behind the counter. He's like, what do you think of this mask, huh? Think it's good? Think it's good? Is my friend's in the hospital or something?
He can't give 2 fucks, the guy working the store.
Yeah, he's like, just fuck. It's a dick face mask, guy.
Yeah.
He's like, look, I got fucking hand buzzers to sell. Can you buy something or get out,
Yeah.
And so the guy's like, all right, I'll take it. And then he walks out and he's spinning the bag, and I'm like, hold on a second. This guy went to downtown and said, like, Dad, I got to use my day to the fullest. That means going to the joke store and buying a dick face mask.
Yeah.
And when we find out what his plan is for this, I'm like, good fucking God. Like,
The line that comes out of that mask. I mean, hey, some people stay home and play Xbox all day long. This guy
buys a dick face mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm back in the people that are playing Xbox at this point in the film.
So the next 2 minutes is, all right, what I write in my notes is what is happening in this movie, and then I go, the next 2 minutes are just, I'm having trouble finding words because somebody actually wrote this. 2 people wrote this movie. What happens is Zamboner walks out of the joke store, and he's twirling his bag. Some random guy in a car pulls up, blocks an alleyway, just gets out of the car and just leaves it running with the keys in the ignition. Some lady tries to get out of the alleyway, and she honks at the car, and the guy's left his car in the middle of the road. Not even double parked. It's like fucking triple parked.
Yeah.
He's like right blocking an alleyway. And she goes to Zamboner, she goes, young man, could you move that car? So he's going to steal a car and move it. So he gets in the car, because in Canada, apparently you just leave the keys in the ignition.
I guess we can't
It's
say.
a friendly country.
That's fine.
You know, Quebec, Montreal. If you're in Montreal, just go ahead, leave the car running and the keys in it. Like, you walk down the street at night, you just see a bunch of cars running. Like, they're just waiting, you know. If you need a car, use it.
Yeah.
So he gets in the car, backs it up. She goes out, and then he sees our main character, our other main character, Debbie, walking down the street. Her skirt gets blown up a la Marilyn Monroe in the middle of the street, and her underwear is exposed, and it says the "I heart you" on the back of them.
Yeah.
And
she's like, when it happens.
she's like, oh, like she likes it.
Well, we find out later she's just one of those.
She is a wildcat, this girl.
Yeah, she walks by the cucumber aisle at the market, and it's just like, there's going to be a cleanup on the aisle.
Oh, yeah. Her mom's like, we got to go. Debbie, stop it. Put it down. So Zamboni lifts up his glasses. He goes, hey. Like, he goes all nutty. He just gets out of this car that he stole. It just starts rolling down because he didn't put the parking brake on or anything. And he's just like looking at her, going like, and following her like an idiot.
Yeah.
The car just starts rolling down the hill, and it crashes into the jewel thief. Yeah. And instead of doing anything, Zamboni just runs the other way.
As one usually would in Canada.
But yeah, you know, you borrow one of those cars.
Well, only in Montreal.
Yeah, there's no hit and run, you know.
Yeah.
Lay hit and run.
Lay hit, lay run. No problem. What is the problem? I hear that run. It's good exercise.
Yeah. Now here's the thing, Chris. He hits the jewel thief with the car,
right?
Or the wannabe jewel thieves.
Yeah.
That will never come into play.
No.
And it's like, did they just use those guys because they didn't have anybody else that they could hire for the movie? Like, it was so cheap. They're like, well, they're here on set today. We don't know why we called them here, so we should probably just put them in the movie.
Yeah,
Hell no, I'm not going to pay some asshole Frenchie to be in this movie. No, there's no goddamn way I'm paying that guy $100 to get hit by a fucking car. Get that jewel thief. Get it. What is he doing? What's fucking Frenchie doing today? Get him in front of that car. We're just going to hit him real quick. He could lie down on the ground and he could be like, oh, I got hit by a car. Nobody's going to know it's the same people. Nobody.
I wonder if we ever will get anyone to endorse this show.
Maybe Remax, Chris, because we're going to talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
This show brought to you by the Hot Air Balloon Remax.
Yeah.
What was that about? Like... You think the Remax people really gonna like this? Okay, we'll get to that one.
Yeah.
So, okay, I just write at the end of that sequence, because all of this happens in the matter of 2 minutes. I just write, the fuck is going on? We said we cut to, this is where it gets even weirder, is we cut to the other main guy, okay? The other part of the Beaver Boys, with the Z, B-O-Y-Z. The Beaver Boys, because these guys, they are eager beavers, and there's two of them.
Yeah.
So the Beaver Boys, they're related to the guys from Swap Meet, I think. You know, they're the local chapter. They're the Montreal chapter. So we cut to a shot of a pool and a woman just being like, do it, harder, harder. You can do it. Yeah, get it up.
Get it up, yeah.
Get it up.
And then you hear the sound of a boy kind of moaning. And it is a boy. It's very unsettling.
Yeah, it's a teenage boy who can't lift a bar.
Yeah.
Like there's he's bench pressing the bench press. He's not even bench pressing like a bench press bar. He's bench pressing like a curling curling bar. He can't lift it up and he just drops it and he's like, oh, I can't do it. And she's like, oh, you'll get it next time. And then a guy walks up, his dad, which we'll never see again, and he gives him a glass of water and then he throws like 100 pills in this glass and says, wash it down with some cabbage juice. Come on, be a man.
And these are like if you have AIDS, they don't even give you this much medication.
None of this will ever come back into play. Like his dad, his stepmom, whoever this is, none of this is ever referred to again. But it's I guess a setup for the next joke where we go to Zamboni's room and he walks in, he's wearing his dick face mask and his friend David is there, who's the pill boy, David. Yeah. And he's like, how was your day? And he's like, I think I overdosed on health. Zing zing!
Oh.
So he's wearing this dick face mask, and this is where it just is. Man. He says that this mask is for hitting on women.
I just like, you have to make sure you don't hear him as hit women or hitting on women.
David goes, what was that? Oh, I'm sorry, what was that? He goes, oh, how are you going to hit women with that?
Yeah.
And he goes, he says, well, my line is, and he's put the dick face on and he's stroking the dick while he says this, as long as I have a face, you have a place to sit. Yeah. And I am so hoping that actually happens in this movie, that he brings the dick mask to the amusement park with him and says that line.
I just fast forward to the courtroom and the defend. And the testimony is just that it was some guy reading. Can we have this court stenographer read that back?
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was it that he said? As long as I have a face, you have a place to sit. And then just he's laughing, like Zamboni's like, it's just a quiet courtroom.
Yeah,
and nobody's.
The bailiff is already like cocking his gun.
He does the whole break. He does the whole break of the fourth wall of the judge. You know, he's like, you're with me, right?
Yeah.
And then you just hear the gavel smack. I think we're done. Okay, the Beaver Boys, they're just going to go and, try their luck with the ladies, Chris. Cut to a topless girl looking at herself in the mirror. So this is Angie. Basically, her role in this movie is that she was the one girl who got duped into signing the contract where she had to be naked.
Yeah.
Poor her.
Oh, God.
Because, my God.
I think she got maybe like an extra $10 out of it.
And this is really creepy because it shows her standing in front of a mirror, and then we get like glamour close-ups of her various body parts, and I'm just like, man, just the idea of having to stand under those hot lights. And some guy's like, no, the bush isn't in focus. No. Check the gate. Did you check the gate?
Oh.
Give me that 5K. And the way it's lovingly lit, it was just really like, man, this is a little too much. Like, this is yikes. And I write, this goes on for a while. Like, good 2 minutes of various body parts close up, too well lit. Then this dad, I wish this guy came back. So Angie's dad is like some Jersey book, right?
Yeah.
Because this guy walks in with like a wife beater, and like he's like, hey, you're taking up the shower. Oh, what are you doing? I need to get in the bathroom. And then we just cut. We'll never see any of this again.
Cutting room floor material.
Yep. So Debbie, the girl who got the 1950s haircut, has now made herself over as Punky Brewster.
Yeah.
Okay. So now she's like all punk style.
She's more like Wendy O. Williams in a way.
She just has like spiky hair.
Yeah.
Some crazy glasses that'll never come back.
Yeah.
She'll never wear them again. And then a shirt that says Savage. Just a real rebel. You know? And then so Angie comes up and they're like, oh, well, there's this random scene, and this will come into play, which I was like, of all the things that happen in this movie, this comes into play. This seems like something they shot later because they're like, oh, fuck, who's this guy that just shows up to the theme park at one point and doesn't have any context? We should do this. How about we just go on a street and shoot this guy driving a car? He comes up to Angie. He just goes, hey, how you doing? Right?
Yeah.
Because when she's walking down the street, some guy pulls up. He goes, hey, Angie, how you doing? And she's like, hey, good. She's like, oh, can you give me a ride to the bus stop so I can meet my friend? He goes, no, I'm busy playing tennis. And then just drives away. I go, okay.
Done.
Well, that's
done.
I guess a scene.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be like some kind of, heel in this film.
No.
Yeah.
This guy will show up one more time in the movie.
Yeah.
And that's it.
What a waste of a car rental.
I know, like, he's driving like a Ferrari.
Yeah.
You know? It's like Mr. Crown's fries. Like, don't scratch it. You're going to pay me to be in this movie, kid, because nobody gets to drive this baby. So we go to Angie meets Debbie at the bus stop, and then Angie's like, oh, my God, Debbie, you look crazy with your spiked hair and everything. And she's like, yeah, I'm a real rebel now. And so they get on the bus, right, because it's Canada and we use public transportation, unlike America.
And it works.
Yeah. So Zamboner, okay, so Debbie and Angie are standing in this crowded bus, and like she sees Zamboner from her mirror, like Debbie does, and she's like, there's this fucking part, Chris. It's the most confusing, stupid fucking setup. As she sees Zamboner in her mirror, she goes, oh my God, that guy's so hot. And then her friend Angie's like, who? And then looks at the mirror and sees David in it. So the other guy.
Yeah.
Who's like the squirrely guy.
It's a stupid psych gag where they're looking at the wrong guy, but they think they're talking about the same guy.
Yeah, and so it's basically like, oh, and then you cut to the back, and David's like, oh, I'm in love with this girl, the brunette girl or something, and then Zamboner's also likes her. And
it's just a gag of getting the lines crossed.
Oh, my God, it's so bad. So basically, just the end of the scene is that Debbie likes Zamboner, but the but they think she likes the other guy.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. It's terrible. So the guys are like, hey, we should go talk to those girls. And Zamboner's idea, again, I wish he pulled out the dick face at this point. He's like, do you think this is a And Dave's like, no, let's just not do the dick face. Maybe now, or...
If he did, I would have hoped everyone on the bus tackled him to the ground.
Or he just stands up, he's like, oh, I forgot my dick face at home. David, we got to go back. We got to go back home.
Yeah. Or he has David sit on his shoulders and pull out his dick. And wraps his dick around his nose.
Pull your dick out. You got to the back, and he's just trying to... He's like, don't touch my zipper. He's like, no, pull out your dick. Pull it. It's fine. Yeah. It's fine. Yeah. It's Montreal. They don't care.
Everywhere else in Canada, we love Montreal. Not so much.
So he's like, okay, the way we're going to hit on those girls is we're going to get off the bus. Because they both at this point have looked at each other like, oh my God, the guy's walking up to us. They're like, oh my God, we're going to walk towards the girls. He goes, okay, here's how we do it, David. Because you're a fucking pussy and you won't pull out your dick. And I forgot my dick mask. What we're going to do is we're going to go outside on this bus stop, and then the girls will follow us because they want to talk to us. They'll get off on the wrong stop. Yeah. And he goes, okay, that sounds good. Then they get out of the bus, and the girls are still in the bus. And I just they're just left limp.
The nose is no longer looking like Steve Martin and Roxanne.
So, Chris, we get that joke about a billion times. What starts with an F and ends with a K. And even at one point, David's like, does it have a U in it?
No. No, but it has a we. Because everyone watching this is getting fucked out of their time.
So, Chris, what does start with a F and end with a K?
Not a whole lot of things.
Well, fun park.
Yeah.
We're just going to hear that a million times. Yeah. And they keep saying it over and over. They're like, audience, audience, guy in the car, could you please put your dick away? Do you know what starts with an F and ends with a K? It's fun park. Mm-hmm. Did you hear that? Mm-hmm. Are you laughing?
It's hard to laugh with a dick in your mouth. Oh,
So, God damn it. They just go into the fun park. And I write, that must have been the joke that got the script greenlit.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, I imagine some guy going into Mr. Crown's office and him being like, all right, what do you got for me, kid? I know you're from the AFI. I know you got here a lot of good things about you here. Mm-hmm. That you would never hit a woman. He goes, sir, what starts with an F and ends with a K? Oh boy,
do you have are you wearing a wire?
You're not recording this, right? Fun park. Oh. All right, how much do you need? So yeah, I know some guy in Montreal. We can film there. It's all good. They got a lot of tax breaks, quote tax breaks up in Canada, Mm-hmm. So then we go montage in the park. I write just a lot of 80s butts. These guys playing grab ass by squirting each other with water guns and then riding rides. And they're just, boys will be boys. The Beaver boys are out in the town, playing around.
Doing it up.
Yeah, squirting each other with water. And then we go to, as he says, David goes, where are we going? And Zamboner says, don't worry, David. It's a, quote, practice run.
Yeah.
Okay, so they go into the dressing room of... Now we're going to discuss... Okay, so this fun park... Mm-hmm. I don't know how they do things up in Montreal, but it is fucking weird. So this is a fun park for children, right? And what do children love more than anything is to see giant diamonds. And they also love to see strippers. Because apparently at this fun park is a burlesque show...
I didn't know they had burlesque shows at theme parks.
But that's what I'm saying. They walk into a dressing room of women,
like
a showgirl thing, and they walk in and some lady's breast is exposed, and she's dropped her tassel on the floor, and she goes, "Oh, sorry," to David. She's like, "Can you pick me up for that? Can you pick that up for me, young man, and put it back on my breast?" And I'm like, okay, whoa, hold on. Beyond the idea of like this being an insane scene, we're at a family fun park.
Yeah.
Like, you imagine some families like, oh, we should go see this show. Let's go take little Johnny into the show. And then they walk in and it's just like, rapper, wah, wah. Yeah. Lady coming out with a boa and just doing all this stuff. And I mean, is this just, where are we?
Again, Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal, I guess. So there's a stripper show in this fun park, and he's like, David's like, oh my God, I've never seen a boob. And he like tries to put the tassel back, and he puts it on her nose or something. She's like, you got great aim, kid. Wah, wah.
You should see my ceiling.
Okay, now Chris, when multiple crimes are committed, because David goes, like, Zamboni goes, okay, David, if you don't know how to like get going with that, don't worry. I got a way where you don't have to interact with women, but you can still see whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Cut to a steamy sewer. Where these guys are standing under a fucking metal grate above a drinking fountain, watching as girls with skirts walk over top of it. Like the reviewer said, his favorite part in the whole movie is when two guys are sitting at the bottom of a fucking sewer looking up skirts of women trying to use the drinking fountain.
Crickets.
Our heroes, everybody.
Yeah.
The Beaver Boys in action.
Mm-hmm. Getting no action. Thank God.
And there's even a fucking joke where the drinking fountain's leaking. And David gets some on his face and he goes, something dripped on my face. And Zamboni's like, it's just water, man. It's just water. And the joke's supposed to be like the woman pissed on him. And I'm just like, okay, this movie, I mean, I don't know how they do things in Montreal. Again,
everyone, from what I remember, it smells like pee because everyone pees on each other.
This is troubling. That our main characters, like, how they get their jollies is just, like, every lunch break, Zamboni's just sitting underneath this. They're like, where did Zamboni go on his lunch break? And they're like, oh, no, is he in the sewer again? And somebody walks down there, you know, he's just furiously, it's just... Somebody's taking a drink from the water fountain there. Like, oh my God, is there something wrong with the water fountain?
Something in the pipes?
Oh, okay. So these are our main characters. Then we cut to the Jewel Thieves. They're in the park now. They see the stuffed animal in this game, right? And they're like, we need to win it now. And I write, you could have fucking walked away with it earlier, lunch wagons. Like, you fucking morons. Then we go to Mr. Theme Park's office, okay? Yeah. So Mr. Theme Park is the manager of the theme park and owner. And Chris...
he's like the Mr. Crown of theme parks.
Yeah, do you think this movie was sponsored by J&B Scotch? Because the Beaver Boys, they come into this office, and this Mr. Theme Park, like, things are not going well, okay?
Well, yeah, you're auctioning off a fucking, diamond?
Not even auctioning it. It's
a raffle.
As we learned, he goes, hey, bad news, somebody stole that diamond that we were going to raffle off.
Yeah.
So apparently in Montreal, the money flows like fucking water because when you go to a theme park and fill out a ticket, buy a ticket to a theme park, win a fucking $billion diamond.
What's called, like the Jubilee Diamond or something like that?
Yeah, he's like, Les Diamond, we were going to auction it off. And he goes, and he's like not even worried about it. He's like, yeah, somebody stole that fucking diamond. Am I right? And I'm like, okay, hold on. You know who was working there at the time that it was stolen? Zamboni.
Yeah.
Maybe ask him like, hey, did you see anything weird? Like at one point, maybe the security guard. By the way, nobody's seen the security guard that was bound and gagged.
Right? Is he like just there, like Rick and Mortis at this point?
I feel like they're gonna open a trash can and find him in pieces at some point, and they'll be like, "Oh, that wasn't hamburger."
Do you think it's like a Knott's Berry Farm? They think it's just part of the Old West setting.
Yeah, they're just a bound and gagged guy. They're like, "Oh, that's quaint." He's just like.
It's like Westworld here.
Yeah, some kid he's right by the trash can. So you see some kid throw his ice cream cone, just lands on him, you know, and the kid just walks away.
Got a fucking ice cream cone in his head.
Nobody has seen the bound and gag security guard.
No, we never call back to him ever.
No. And also they're like, yeah, that diamond was stolen. That's all right. We'll get another.
No.
And then he is down, like, so he has a bottle of J&B Scotch that is just camera adjacent, like it's right in front of the camera the whole time. Like, just that thing's more in focus than the whole movie. And he's pouring it into a cup and just downing it throughout the scene. Not that he's worried about anything. It's just that, like, you know, you need your little nip in the afternoon. You know what I mean? J&B, great lunch.
And breakfast.
Any time of day, J&B will do.
Mm-hmm.
A little J&B it, And so he's just down. Again, not a great way to advertise your product is like chronically drinking it throughout the day. Everybody carries around a bottle of water. How about a bottle of scotch, eh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's how we do things up in Montreal. So this guy is just downing cup and cup of scotch while these guys are talking to him. He's like, hey, my favorite employee, come on in here. And he's like, hey, I need my paycheck. He's like, yeah, whatever. And he gives him like cash out of his own wallet. And he goes, hey, I trust you, kid. Go have a fun time. And then, hey, next summer, bring your friend there, that weakling one, the little weak arm one. Bring him back here. We'll put him to work, huh? As he puts down another fucking plastic Dixie cup of J&B.
J&B. Well, what's the best way to do when you're in a country for no guns? You drink J&B and pee on each other.
This episode of Grindbin brought to you by J&B Scotch.
Yeah.
Any time of the day, J&B will do.
Mm-hmm.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack.
Postcoital.
J&B always goes down smooth. The manager's not worried at all. Mr. Theme Park, he didn't give a fuck. He was going to auction off a diamond. Things are going well for this dude, okay? Everything's fine. It's coming up theme park, okay?
It's coming up, fuck.
It's coming up F and K.
Yeah.
So this guy, we go to Dave playing a gun game, and he's such a wuss. As I see, like, he's such a wuss, he can't even beat a game, beat a robot cowboy in a game of draw.
No.
And this thing's talking shit to him. It's like, come on, you puss, shoot me.
You little bitch.
Yeah, he's like, come on, you little bitch. And he can't even get the gun up. It's flying around and hitting him in the face and
It's
shit.
just like almost Eddie Deason territory.
Oh, God.
It's painful.
So then his friend, Zamboni spots the girls, right, from the bus. He's like, hey, David, it's the girls. Let's go talk to him. And then they go over while they're playing a game. And the guy who's running the game says to the girls, nothing to it, baby. Just put it in the hole.
Again, like, we have to put in every innuendo just to be like, every guy's like,
Yeah, and so Angie is so bad at this game. So all the game is you toss a baseball into
like a triangle?
into a to a triangle.
Yeah.
That's how they do it in Montreal. Yeah. They can't even have a circle, like normal people.
Well, 'cause
they got to put it at all angles.
Yeah, because they're all drinking J&B. They can't really cut a perfect circle.
Yeah, I mean, look, we know how they are up there. They can't speak English like the rest of the country.
Right.
So they can't even cut a circle.
Right.
They got to do it angular.
Yeah.
Right?
I think their traffic signals are like triangles and octagons. And
yeah. Just so they could be a little different.
Yeah.
So she is so bad at this game. Yeah. All you have to do is toss it into a thing. She overhand throws it into a man's testicles.
Mm-hmm. Which is how you feel while you watch this movie over and over again.
Yeah, it feels like a woman has missed a bucket and hit me directly in the testicles. And then she goes to throw the other. She's like, I got one more ball. The guy goes, no. So do I.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no. You've used up your dollar.
Like the writers were high-fiving each other for that line.
Oh,
this was like
the cocktail napkin. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then Zamboni comes up and he's like, hey, let me show you how it's done. He gets it in the hole in more than one way, Chris.
Yep.
And then he gets Angie a stuffed animal, right? And then he wins one for Debbie too. And Debbie, she's like, I want that one on the top. That one on the top.
Christ.
Which is the diamond one, okay?
Yeah.
It's on the very top.
Yeah.
And the guy who's working the booth's like, why? Because he's like, this is the same fucking stuffed animal as the one right here that I'm holding in my hand.
Because it's a fucking plot device. That's why.
Yeah, because he goes, why do you want that one? She goes, it's special. And he goes,
Christ.
This one's the same fucking stuffed animal. Can you please take this one? I'm not getting the fucking ladder to get up there and get you that fucking thing. It's just for show. And then the guy, like Zamboni's like, hey, women. So this guy gets up and gets her the stuffed animal. They walk away, and then like all the stuffed animals fall on him and all this shit.
Yeah.
It's just wacky,
You should have said something to like turn her off. Like, you know what? I gave that one herpes.
Yeah, I rubbed that one on my dick this morning.
Yeah.
You don't want it,
Yeah.
okay? It's anatomically correct. It's where I hide my fleshlight.
That's impressive.
See this guy every time. There's one time a day where the security guard walks past and he's got a stuffed animal on his crotch and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "Oh, just working the game, just working the game." As he just slides that thing up and down.
Oh boy!
All right, kid, what prize you want? They're like, that one you're holding. He goes, no, no, you're gonna need to pick another. No, mommy, I want that one. No, excuse me, ma'am. He can't pick this one. No. I got priors. No. And so then,
You think if they like throw the ball at him and he tries to catch the ball, but the animal's still like floating on his dick?
Chris, do you think this has ever happened in real life? Like some carny's been caught with a stuffed animal on his dick.
Oh, I'm sure of it. Please, all the carnivals in the world and all the carnies. I'm sure there's been a lot worse than stuffed animals on a dick.
And there's a guy like Bronson who goes, "What's this for? Jack it up."
Yeah, then he's in the interrogation room and like slams down this like stuffed rat. Smacks him around with it.
Oh God! So at this point, both the Beaver boys, want Angie because they think Debbie's weird because she's got spiky hair, right? Dude. They're like, she's a crazy. And so they both like Angie. And as I say, when Dave looks at Angie, it looks like he's wanting to see if her head will fit in a duffel bag.
Right.
Because he has the creepiest fucking look. He's like, yeah. I like the way you touched that ball. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he just looks terrifying. Like somebody from Screwballs. Like his intentions are all wrong. Mm. So then we go, the girls play hard to get. Again, it doesn't make any sense. They're like, hey ladies, why don't we go to lunch? And they go, bye. And then they just walk away. Even though the girls the whole time are like, oh God, we really want to talk to those guys. And then as soon as they get the chance, they're like, bye.
There are so many times they could have evaded like certain death in this film, or just a lifetime of disease and suffering, and
those Beaver Boy charms, Chris.
Oh God, you know what? Oh my God.
So Dave says, Chris, that's the last we'll see of them, I bet. And then Zamboni sees that they walk over to that drinking fountain, Chris, and he says, you'll see more of them than you think.
You see, this movie reinforces that. This movie reinforces that terrible stereotype of they were asking for it.
Oh yeah. Yes. They walked over. Oh, great. Officer, what am I supposed to do when I'm eating my lunch down in the sewer and a girl walks above me? Yeah. Why am I the bad guy for just eating lunch in a private place? As he says, as the cell door just closes. So he says, you'll see more of them than you think. Cut to them. As I just read, Jesus Christ, they're in their fucking upskirt vent.
Oh, God.
David, pull out your dick. It's all right if we're both doing it.
I think knowing these guys, they're real fucking Dutch ruddering in this shit. It's dark, it's below, no one can see.
David, it's better if we both close our, just look upwards and then grab mine and I'll grab yours. Then it's like somebody else is doing it. It's not gay, right?
Only if we finish at the same time.
Yeah, only if we finish at the same time. So then they get there too late, Chris, because instead of girls seeing upskirt of girls, they just see a fucking dog piss on them. A dog in a theme park, by the way.
Yeah, well, again, 80s, who knows? Maybe they let in, mangy mutts left and right.
This is just like the Shaggy dog. Yeah. Like fucking the Shaggy dog just showed up.
Well, how low rent Montreal is with their pets and theme parks and
just Shaggy dogs just roam free in Montreal?
Well, it contributes to the smell of urine everywhere.
Yeah, they just say, just take one home if you can, please, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
we have enough of them.
Right.
So then we go to the Jewel Thieves. They come to the game and they see the animal. They come to the game, they see the animal they want is missing. Okay. Then we go to the bathroom. So there's just this thing. The Beaver Boys are watching the piss off themselves, washing all that piss and semen off themselves. David, we missed the girls. What do we do now? Well, mine's still out.
And up.
I mean, it's still up. So we go to the girls' bathroom. They talk about play it hard to get, but they also like it when it's hard. Hey-oh! That's a joke of the movie. I didn't make that up. Then they walk in the bathroom, and the B-boys are there, and they're like, hey, girls, why don't we go on a ride? We just watch bumper cars for a while.
Yeah, this whole movie is just runtime.
Yeah. And at one point, some 10-year-old kid keeps hitting Debbie with this bumper car, and she goes, hey, go fuck a duck to a child.
I've said that before to a child.
There you go. Yeah. But she's also a child, so, remember.
Yeah.
She's 16, Chris.
Well.
We're trying to get a look up it. She's 16. So then Zamboner's hitting on Angie and Debbie gets all mad and runs away. We go to the girls' room. Basically, it's just like, I like that guy. And she's like, well, I like him too. And she's like, oh, you can have him, who fucking cares? I just like, good Lord, just fucking end it. Basically, the thing is, Angie's like, all right, well, I'm going to go for Zamboner and you go for David. And they're like, okay, that sounds good. Mm-hmm. And then the guys say the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Except that Zamboner says, all right, David, now just remember, no means yes. Now again, these are our main characters in a mainstream movie made in Montreal. Looking at you, Canada.
Mm-hmm. The rest of Canada, totally fine.
You don't understand, officer. No actually means yes. As the cell door closes.
As the
fucking solitary confinement thing opens and the meal is slid through. It means yes. It means...
As the colander is fitted over your head and the sponge is wet.
You're getting green mild, you know.
Green mild, GM'd. Yeah, I got GM'd. The guy got GM'd yesterday. See the lights flicker? Yeah, that was him.
We go to this Ferris wheel. David is riding with Debbie, and she's going all crazy. She's like, I'm gonna get crazy, and like acting like a fucking monkey in this thing. Like she's just jumping around. She can't sit still. She's like got fucking ADD.
No.
And then we cut to Zamboni, and he's like, I want to be dumb too. And he's like going around, and Angie's like, would you sit the fuck still? Yeah. And I go, it looks like they should switch.
Oh.
So then we go to the Jewel Thieves. I write, who fucking cares? They can't find the right animal, so they just go around the park stealing children's toys and ripping them apart to find the diamond. I'm getting real lunch wagon, Chris.
Yeah.
Then we go to Dave and Debbie. Okay, so this part, she wants some action. She wants to be wild, and Dave goes, oh, I know what we can do for some action. And he just tries to kiss her, and she goes, no. And he goes, well, that means yes.
And then the most terrifying looking battle ensues. Like, his hands are now around her head. And she's like fighting him back like, no. And he's like,
it looks like the start of a wrestling match. Like where they do the tie up, you know?
The initial grapple.
Yes, where they just grapple and they're like,
like, oh no, is that every match in like wrestling starts with that stalemate. Do you think to start with something different?
Yes, it's just like every time you watch it, you're like, oh no, they're just gonna hug each other for a minute while they feel each other out.
Yeah.
Like, what is the point of it?
It's like a video game where you're playing some MMA game. You have to figure out your moves the first time, and like each person's character is standing in the corner of the ring, like kicking and punching air.
Yeah, instead of like punching or kicking somebody in wrestling, they go, well, we should probably start out this match by grabbing each other, right? Just feel each other out. Yeah. So they look like they're in the grapple, okay?
Yeah.
Now we cut to the most disturbing. Like, okay, so what we've described before is very disturbing. No. Mm-hmm. We are going to watch something that should put somebody in prison. It doesn't matter the age.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Unless this is how they do things in Montreal. Holy shit, Chris.
Is this the Goofy's Flight School roller coaster at California Adventure?
Yeah. So, by the way, Chris, have you ever heard of this happening on one of the rides at California Adventure?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh. No. This is just a Tuesday over at Disneyland, huh?
Well,
whenever you get these fucking Quebecers that come into town.
A lot of this shit is like grad night behavior. I mean, people have been grad nighters. They're the ones getting caught jerking off on pirates and, getting hand jobs.
What is there to do? How would you jerk off on pirates?
A
guy sitting alone?
It's happened.
Please tell me that somebody's helping. Like, there's two people involved, right? It's not just one man jerking off in Pirates of the Caribbean.
I've been told by another people I've known, it's been one guy.
Yo ho, yo ho.
Yeah, yo tug.
A pirate's life for me.
I wonder if he, got it to shoot over the boat, kind of put out that fire.
During the cannon fire, Party stands up and he's just pow pow.
He's got Blackbeard. His Blackbeard's got something hanging from his hat now.
And they're like, Chris, when you started working there, like, Chris, you have no idea how much semen's in that water. I can tell you how many times that drain's been clogged, Chris.
Yeah,
Jesus.
In fact, that's been the same water since 1992. We can't clog it anymore. It's just it won't even drain.
Oh, it's been worse since we put Mr. Depp on the ride, I'll tell you. That semen bank went up. So,
What?
the best one you told me about, and this is a true thing, by the way.
Yeah.
You can still see it in the Haunted Mansion when a man brought his gun into the Haunted Mansion and shot it. You can still see it.
Yeah, you can.
There's a bullet hole in the Haunted Mansion.
They're just seeing the dancing scene where the ballroom dancers and the table and you looking down below and everything. There's ghosts. It's the Pepper's Ghost Illusion, and it's directly. The funny thing is who it's directed at. It's those two paintings that are shooting each other. The two ghosts that come out, and someone thought, I'm gonna shoot that stupid ghost too.
Oh, I thought it was maybe a guy with like carrying his gun like a concealed carry, and he goes like, whoa!
That would have been better.
And he just goes, ah, pop, 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 pop. You don't understand. I was threatened in that ride.
I stood my ground. Stood it.
So yes, if you ever go to Disneyland in the Haunted Mansion ride, there is a bullet hole through the freaking Pepper's Ghost Illusion.
It's the on the very end of that scene. It's the second tall glass from the.
It's very noticeable.
Yeah, what they did was instead of having to replace that entire glass, which means you would have to rip open the roof, pull that glass out, and get another one.
It would
installed.
cost like $1 million.
Yeah, plus you'd be like stopping traffic to get that shit through, and it's one giant piece of glass. And that's the problem. So it was actually brilliant. They just painted a spider web and a spider over it.
Yeah, but it is a bullet hole.
It's a bullet hole, yeah.
So a man has shot the Haunted Mansion. So,
fuck!
But Chris, what happens in this movie is way worse.
Oh, yeah.
Because, okay, so Zamboni and Angie are on a ride, and Angie is like catatonic scared on this roller coaster, and Zamboner's licking her neck and everything. He puts his hand down her dress and pulls her breast out of her dress, and he's groping her.
And her face, though, she has got the 1,000-yard stare.
Yes, she's like catatonic, like scared from the ride or something.
Do you think? I think this is like literally like the actress is just like, what did I sign up for?
Yes. No, honey, it's in the script. He's gonna.
I think she went to another place when she was doing that scene.
Yeah. The ride ends, and she looks down and sees that her breast is exposed in the middle of this theme park with children and everything. And Zamboni goes, "Was it good for you?" Holy shit. So what happens is she runs away, thank God, and she brings Debbie in the bathroom. She goes, "That guy tried to rape me on the roller coaster."
Yeah.
She uses those exact words. She says, "I never want to see that guy again. He tried to rape me on the fucking Snoopy ride." On Goofy's coaster.
Goofy's bicycle.
And she's like, "What? That sounds awesome. I mean, awful."
Oh, God.
So she's like all turned on by this. She's like, "I would love a man to rape me on a roller coaster." And she's like, "Well, you can have him." So the guys get together and Zamboni's like, "Look, I don't think it's going to work because I think I may have accidentally raped her. I mean, it wasn't my fault. Like, again, no means yes. As I told you, David, that works in a court of law. So I'm fine legally, but I think she's pissed. So maybe you should go try it because she's more your speed, you know? And I'll go hang out with that crazy girl." And so they've decided to switch now, okay? Then we cut back to, then David walks into the ladies' room at the end of the scene and talks to Angie. And he's like, she goes, something like, "What are you doing in the women's room?" And he's like, "That's just a label for society." And I'm like, "Oh boy." Oh boy. Says the guy standing under the grate. That's just a label in our society.
This is like another tier of how we rate a movie. This is, like this movie, I could say I'm standing under the grate if I'm watching this movie. I just feel terrible. You feel awful for just having wasted time on it.
Dodging drops.
Yeah.
So I would recommend it with a tall bottle of scotch. Man, nothing goes down smoother than a bottle of scotch. Chris, you hear that phone ringing?
I do.
Oh, let's put him on.
Hello.
Hey boys, I'd just like to say thank you again for tuning into the Grindbin, and I'd like to say this episode of Grindbin is brought to you by Scotch.
Oh.
No means yes when it comes to just pop yourself open a bottle, take a sip, and let it go down smooth, baby.
The Scotch, right?
Scotch. Watch for trips.
And now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Thank you, Mr. Crown, for that commercial. I wonder what he said.
Who approved that copy?
Oh, Chris, I think I hear the phone ringing again.
All right. Awesome. Hello.
Hey, boys, I'd just like to say that this episode of Grindbin is brought to you by... Nothing goes better than eating a fresh cooked meal, and you know what? You can eat it anywhere. You can eat it at home, you can eat it under a grate, you can eat it at a theme park. It always goes good off fresh Mountain Dew.
What else goes good with How do you wash that down?
We got the freshest zucchinis around.
Oh.
You know what goes good with a box of though? A smooth bottle of scotch. Chris, with no means yes when it comes to the scotch. Just pop that bottle open and watch it go down smooth.
Thank you, Mr. Crown.
Thank you.
So now back to our regularly scheduled program, Chris. So we go to the Jewel Thieves, more animal stealing, but this time they bring a hook down and they commit a crime because they fucking kidnap a little girl instead of a stuffed animal.
Oh, the phone's ringing again.
Oh my God.
Hello? It's someone safe little girl. What are you doing on the phone?
Hang it the fuck up.
Oh my God.
Hang it
I
the
don't think
fuck
that
up.
was supposed to happen.
No.
Oh no. Oh, so the Jewel Thieves, they steal the baby girl. And then you know what was really crazy is later in the movie when they go, we found a girl that was gutted. You think they're like, boss, this doesn't look like one of them rat stuffed animals. I don't care. Cut her open.
Jesus.
It's Montreal, Chris. They don't care, you know? Babies, they find girls ripped apart all the time. We don't know what they're doing on America's hat, Chris. We have no idea what goes on up there. All right?
It's a mystery.
It's a whole other world.
The mystique is just mystifying.
All we know is they speak a different language.
Yeah.
They all sorts of different laws when it comes to sexual deviances. That's for damn sure. Do you think every grate in Montreal, like every sewer grate, is positioned so a man can sit under it for his lunch break and just look on up, look at the stars, or whatever else?
I think that's how every subway station is in Montreal.
I think so.
Yeah.
They encourage people to just stand over the grates, you know?
Yeah.
Give people a show.
Like every woman's room, there's just a downstairs you can go down, and there's a grate underneath.
Yeah, it's just a
woman's room.
label
Yeah.
that they call in society,
Yeah.
you know? It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
We go to Mr. Theme Park's office, and the cops think that Zamboni is the jewel thief because his fingerprints are all over the case. And I go, but isn't everybody's fingerprints on that case? Because people can literally walk in there and touch that. How many fucking fingerprints are on that case? Thousands. Also, cops, have you found the security guy that was gagged and bound and gagged earlier in the day? Have we found him yet? No? Just take another sip of that sweet no means yes when it comes to and just sip it. When do you think we're getting that cease and desist? You know?
I think it might be a little more harsh than a cease and desist at this point.
They shouldn't let us just do the bin by ourselves, Chris. I think they really, like, this is what happens. You know, that's why we had to bring other people on the show.
Bobby's always good at reining us in.
Yeah,
and telling us to tone certain things up. I don't see Bobby here.
Not today, Trippet. Oh, do you hear that phone?
Yes, I do.
Oh my God! Go ahead. Can we answer that?
Hello?
Hello, boys?
Hey!
Hello?
Mr. Crown.
I'd just like to say that this is going off the fucking rails, okay?
You're telling me.
You guys need Trippet on the show.
I agree. I think he's been a great addition. I'm really glad to have him.
Without my boy, I know that Hughes quit, thank God. I mean, that was a long time coming, if you ask me. His one fan is going to be real upset about it. But let me tell you something, that you boys should never host the show without Trippet, because it's terrible. And you're doing me a disservice. And you're doing our fine sponsor, Scotch, a disservice. As you know, it means yes. As you know, no means yes when it comes to Scotch. Pop open a bottle, take a sip.
You can say pop the top.
Pop the top. Drink it under a manhole cover, or whatever you want to do. You know, it's
Scotch for the crotch, if you will.
Scotch for the crotch, as we say. Thank you, boys. I'll come in later.
When you say come in
Goodbye.
later. Okay.
Okay, so basically, Chris, what happens is that the cops are looking for Zamboni because he apparently stole the diamond, is what they think, right? Because there's no security cameras. They haven't found that murdered security guard. A little girl was cut open today at the park, and they still, you know, that's not of a concern because the crown jewels were stolen, and hey, we got a fucking raffle, you know?
Yeah.
And I write, no, the manager, so Mr. Theme Park should go, no, officers. Because the manager's like, no, it couldn't have been him. He's a good boy. That kid's a good kid. all he does is rape women on roller coasters and eats his lunch under a grate looking at upskirts all day. That's not illegal, though, right? They go, I'm sorry, we're going to need to see this, man. Oh, wait, it's Montreal. Never mind. So, okay, basically, there's just 2 separate dates that happen, and for a while, they've switched girls now. So, Chris, this gets very concerning.
Yeah.
Is that Debbie and Zamboner are sitting on a park bench, and she tries to rape. She tries to get Zamboner to fuck her at a public park. I'm not kidding.
It kind of backfires on him too. Which is,
I say I'm serious.
Yeah.
I know the viewers think I'm kidding.
No.
No.
Viewers on a podcast.
Yeah, you heard me.
Yeah. Because we have the live feed on YouTube right now.
We do. You guys should watch it.
And
because, man,
Patreon.
Time.
It's $200 to watch the live feed of this right now.
Trust me, you don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Face for radios, you know?
Dutch Rudder Live.
All right. No. I'm serious. Chris, it backfires on her.
Oh, big time.
But she says to him, like, okay, I want to have sex right here. And he's like, in a public theme park? He's like, in my place of employment? And she's like, yeah, it would be hot, wouldn't it? And he's like, we're in public. And she's like, great. I want you to de-virginize me in this theme park. How do we have sex? And he's
Jesus Christ.
What is happening?
He doesn't even know what to do.
No.
He's at a loss.
So he says, oh, okay, well, the first thing you got to do to have sex is you got to moan real loud.
You see, this is like when you're a kid and you know nothing more than what you saw in Cinemax, and you're like, this is what you think happens when you have sex?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And Chris, it's funny you say kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're going to teach some kids where the birds and bees come from. Because, oh, my boy, like... Okay, at one point she's like, oh, let me get your pants down. Let's get naked in this public park, in this theme park. Nobody will care. You know, it's Montreal. You can fuck wherever you want. Yeah. So she tries to pull down his zipper and it breaks off.
But his thing is, well, first I need to moan first.
Yes.
And that apparently, according to him, sex is preceded with moaning.
Yes, and it gets the attention of 2 children on a park bench.
Yeah.
One of them looks like, as I just wrote, he's like Ted Cruz.
Oh,
like one of them, because he just has this look like, I'm not going to have fun. Because you know that guy fucking shows up to parties and they're like, oh, Cruz is here. Put away the fun.
Yeah.
Put out the joint. Oh, God.
Jesus.
What do you want, Ted?
Straighten the crucifix on the wall.
Because this kid is just stone-faced Terminator.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I think I hear somebody breaking the law. And these 2 children walk over and look through the bushes at Debbie straddling Zamboner and then trying to remove his zipper.
With her teeth.
Yeah. And they see the kids and they go, oh, we're caught. And they walk away. And the younger kid looks to the Ted Cruz kid and he goes, wonder what they were doing. And he just goes,
blowjob.
Like I'm saying, I felt like he was going to go ruin the day. Like he was just going to go, we need to go tell somebody about this. They have sullied this park. It's a serious country we live in here.
Serious province.
Serious province.
Rest of the country, they're doing okay.
Yeah, get Trudeau on the line. So then we see Angie and Dave ride a Ferris wheel. That's right. It's terrible.
Yeah.
We find out they're both virgins. Who cares? Then, oh no, I'm sorry. It's not a Ferris wheel. It's like a merry-go-round.
Oh, yes.
Because then the fancy car guy shows up and he walks up to Angie and goes, hey, your mother told me where you were. Let's go, huh? Why are you on this fucking kid's ride? And he just, while the ride's moving, he goes onto the ride and picks her up off the horse and like carries her like a caveman. And David's just sitting there going like, what the fuck?
Wow.
And so then the next thing is just Zamboni and Debbie, I write, who cares? They're perfect for each other.
Yeah.
Who cares? Then David's walking alone like Charlie Brown, and Angie just walks back up and he's like, what happened to that guy? She goes, what guy? And that's just done.
Yeah.
Forget it ever fucking happened.
I would have liked it if she somehow just slit his throat ear to ear. And that was like he's gone.
Okay, this has been a bad day for the theme park, boss. We found a security guy like drugged and dead. He was bound and gagged. Somebody stole the diamond. We found a 3-year-old girl cut in half, and we don't think it was from a ride.
No.
We found her in a tree, hanging like a fucking ornament.
Yeah.
Then we found a guy who drove a Ferrari ear to ear, throat slit, and some kid thought he was a Pez dispenser. I mean, this has been a hell of a last day of summer.
And to top it all off,
To top it all off, I'm out of JB. So basically what fucking happens is that there is just a montage of rides, and I just runtime. And we're going to play the song. Like, we got to play this song.
yeah, this is almost like a Manhandlers montage.
Yes, and the song that goes, Chris, is The Fun Park. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jesus
It's
Christ.
going to be all right. Everybody dance all night. The Fun Park. And it just repeats that for minutes.
Everyone knows where everyone goes. When you're feeling down, you can come around to Fun Park. Oh yeah, it's gonna be alright. Let's go to Fun Park. Alright, everybody dance all night down to Fun Park. Oh yeah, it's gonna be alright. Let's go to Fun Park. Alright, everybody dance all night.
As we just watch people go on rides, and fucking Zamboni and Debbie getting out of their roller coaster seat while it's on a lift hill and getting in other seats because they have a death wish.
Yeah.
They're suicidal. And then basically the Jewel Thieves, they come up and they're like, hey, we want that stuffed animal, and they like rough up David, and they take it, and then they find out it's not in there, and then fucking Angie and
Wild goose chase.
yeah,
ensues.
it's like, and then Zamboner and Debbie come over and they're like, oh, get rid of our friend, here's the stuffed animal, and then Debbie like hits him in the head, and this diamond falls out, and the chase is on. The Jewel Thieves are chasing them, and basically that's the whole movie.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Is it just goes,
And they're like, we got to fit the soundtrack in somewhere to sell this piece of shit.
look, I just kept writing, it just end. Just end
Yeah.
is what I just kept writing, because this movie
It
just
turns into
goes
a stupid ass
on and on.
Scooby-Doo chase.
Oh god, there's like we're talking 20
Yeah.
minutes
Yeah.
of a chase around a theme park where they're like, we gotta get in all the rides. They told us we gotta get them all in.
Mm-hmm.
Then it it goes on and on and on and on. And at one point, Debbie's climbing up a ladder, and Zamboni, you know how he likes to look
Oh,
up.
Jesus, yeah.
He goes, oh my god, your panties.
He
Or
goes,
no, he goes, oh,
I love you.
And she goes, I love you too, but now's not the time.
Yeah.
Because they're running from Jewel Thieves.
And I was like, well, that
He
was
goes,
quick.
No, your panties. I saw those panties earlier in the day. You know, when you pulled that Marilyn Monroe? It's not creepy.
Yeah.
Like, I just saw them,
Yeah.
you know, and I knew, I was like, and he goes, and I've fallen in love with you twice in one day. Yikes. So, Chris, this all ends. Like, basically, the cops think it was Zamboner, and they, like, bring him in, and then David, like, gets the jewel back from them, and this all ends in a fucking dance number.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not kidding. It's a fucking dance number where all of a sudden it's
like pseudo Michael Jackson moves.
yes, it's like all of a sudden the fucking cast from Breakin' comes out at
Yeah.
one point, and they're like, hey, everybody have a fucking party.
Yeah.
And these people are, like, doing head spins and shit. And then they're like, oh, we're going to get the fucking Jewel Thieves to run on the stage and pour slippery goo on it, like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
And they're all slipping on the stage and like, whoa, look at these new dance moves. And this is the movie.
Yeah.
This is the movie.
Yeah, because we're pretty much just kind of glossing over a certain scene, which no one cares about. Is he gets Zamboni gets caught. Thinking,
He gets away with it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
A little bit and the
Yeah.
night's fine, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And like he's getting pulled out by the police. They're like, we're arresting him for various sex crimes as well as stealing a diamond. And then at the front of the entrance, David's just tossing the diamond up and down. He goes, looking for this?
Yeah.
And the cops are like, yeah, actually we are. And they're like, where'd you get that? And he goes, from those criminals right over there.
That are
And they're like,
dancing up a storm.
do you have proof of this? But no, because they're Scooby-Doo criminals. Like, oh, the cops, jinkies! And they, like, try to run, but they keep slipping, and then the cops arrest them, and they get away with it. Of course, though, the cops are still pulling away Zamboner, and David's like, no, we gave you the diamond. They go, oh, no, kid. Oh, no, that's, like, the least that we got on this guy.
Yeah.
So, this all just culminates with a dance number for another 5 minutes. Is where they just dance. They slow dance.
Christ.
Then we just cut to 2 shots of like a sky ride, and they didn't even have the fucking budget to film in it. Oh, by the way, there is a great part on this movie where, like, for some reason, David does like a Home Alone to the jewel thieves, where he goes, "Come and get me, you horse's ass," and then he puts them in various traps.
Yeah.
And one of them is he puts the main jewel thief into a hot air balloon and pulls the string, and it flies up, and it just says Remax, like Remax Realty on this thing. So fucking big. It's like the Goodyear fucking blimp. Because those Remax people were adamant about getting their fucking money in this Montreal movie.
$50 they put it in this movie.
Chris, you hear the phone?
Oh, fuck. It's
Hello,
ringing off the
boys.
hook.
I'd like to say that this episode of the Grindbin is brought to you by.
Oh,
Do you need a house?
I do.
Do you like your houses with grates where you can go underneath the street and look upwards? Realty. They got you covered.
NP.
Thanks, Mr. Crown.
Oh.
So, Chris, it just shows the sky ride in voiceover, and they're like, oh, how are we gonna get down from here?
The skyride starts rocking to and fro, and
Well, because they're like, where's David and Angie? And they're like, oh, maybe they're in the other sky ride. He goes, oh, no, I know David. He's not in that sky ride. And then it cuts to the other one. Yeah, they're rocking it.
Yeah.
And I write, he's either fucking her or he's sawing her head off. So I don't know what's going on.
or both
there.
at the same time.
Well, hey.
Yeah. Montreal.
There you go. Montreal. Yeah. Recommendations?
Oh, this is it's a not.
Go with your gut, Chris. What are you gonna say?
Honestly, fuck no. This is just like this is again. The people that think this is how life can be and can work are again the fucking fedora, neckbeard, trench coat, fedora motherfuckers that are like milady and hold the door open. They think of themselves as the shorter guy in this film. Like the shorter guy in this film thinks he's got some moral compass that floats above Zamboni, and they try to play on that in the film, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Chris, there is no J&B in the world that could get me through this movie ever again. No. So, Chris, on the Hughes scale, how fast would Hughes watch this movie? As you know, our new scale is Hughes, who used to be on the show and now has since turned heel and retired. He always watches his movies. Every time he was on the show, he'd watch his movies in more than 1 speed. Because on YouTube, you can watch a video faster than 1 speed. Chris, between 1 and 4, what speed do you think Hughes would watch this
I don't
at?
think you watched it that fast. I don't think you would have.
Really?
Yeah. There's shenanigans. That's why, and it doesn't have the pacing.
And sex grams.
Yeah, and it doesn't. Let's not paint a picture.
No.
An undue picture. Of
No,
the man.
of
I'm
course
just
not.
saying that
We love you, Hughes, by the way. We know you're still listening.
I will look back fondly on the Hughes era of the show.
Well, he's not gone forever. He'll be back one day.
Well, good. I'd say there were shenanigans. Things did happen at a pace. It wasn't listless like any other Crown film. And he would watch it maybe, I don't know, a quarter speed faster.
I would probably say a 2-timeser.
Oh.
Yeah. But for me, 4. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Just horrible.
Oh.
Don't watch it.
No.
It's on YouTube if you're curious.
Yeah.
If you want to... I mean, the problem is that I've already watched it, so I'm on some FBI list now.
I don't like that it's in my watch history on YouTube. There's no undoing that.
Your girlfriend's just going to go on the computer. Oh, what movies was Chris watching? Oh, check out this Breaking All the Rules.
I'm wondering why the calls aren't being answered. Why should I not take my calls anymore after that ever happened? Oh my God.
Chris, how do you think Bobby DeVito would fit in the world of this movie? You heard that sound.
I think they fucking wrote and directed this movie.
That's your whole thing?
That's
you think they wrote and directed?
I think they wrote and directed this
I
shit.
think for sure they'd be under that grate. I think all of a sudden, Zamboni would be eating his lunch and he goes, he just hears, right on my wagon. And he goes, what the hell is that? It's just echoing through. It's like it's like echoing through the sewer. And he's like, what is that sound? And then the lights just get real bright. And you hear, and they just run him over. The periscope for the van just goes right up. And DeVito goes, we made it to Montreal, Bobby. We're finally here.
Yeah.
DeVito, can I look? This time, Bobby. We got all the time in the world. Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Grindbin.
Do you think, like, they kind of say they're too long, they just kind of, like, died of old age, or not even age, or just, like, starvation, just sitting on that grate, and they just...
Yes.
Years later, they found these two skeletons in this mummification state.
Chris, 2017.
Yeah.
The park reopens.
Well, how did it close?
I think we know why it closed, Chris. They were like, do you know how many people have been raped in this park, Mr. Theme Park? Also, you walking around telling every employee of yours that no means yes. Yikes.
Yeah.
And we've never seen... I mean, is the J&B factory here? Because good Lord. So, years later, somebody buys the park, right? And they reopen it. And they're cleaning it out. And they go, yeah, that's weird that there's a grate over like right next to a
drinking fountain.
A drinking fountain for children. They go, somebody go under there and check that out. And then somebody walks in with a flashlight. And they and they're going through that it-like sewer, right? And they walk over there, and they open the straight arrow. They find the straight arrow just dusty and everything, right? And they open it up, and there's a dried-out waterbed and two skeletons, hands on their dicks, just staring upwards through this periscope. Yeah, but then all of a sudden you hear, hearing this stuff. Cut the black.
I just picture that scene in Pirates of the Caribbean where it's all skeletons going through the beginning.
Yeah, it's like all the Pirates of the Caribbean, there's a straight arrow at one point. Like, you know, like the guy in the room full of treasure, where he just died among his treasure and he's all happy. It's just Bobby DeVito dying under that crate, just happy. And they got the magnifying glass. Wah, 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 wah. But instead it's
so standing there. It's alright by me. Do you think at that theme park, the re-entry, you know, you get a handstand at Disneyland, do you think it's just like a reach around by the gate?
Yeah, I think some guy with paint on his hands smacks your ass and goes, "We got you, girl."
Yeah. Guys, it's a pat on the back. Girls, it's just front or back.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Grindbin. This will probably be our last. We'll be behind bars
before we're indicted.
Oh, Muller's coming. Grindhousefilm.com, Twitter at GrindPod, Facebook Grindbin Podcast. Chris runs the Instagram. It's Grindbin Podcast. Yep, just rate and review us on iTunes.
Oh, rate and review. Sorry, I misheard that.
Rate and review us on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it if you like the show. And if you really like the show, join our Patreon for as little as $2 a month. You can check it out and get yourself into the Grindbin and listen to our Patreon exclusive episodes. We have mini bins on there. We just did one on a 1970s cop show that was a lot of fun. We got plenty more coming up. And we have our exclusive Patreon only episode, which is Beverly Hills Vamp. Actually, one of our finest episodes where Trippett was able to rein us in. Great episode, though.
Yeah.
You can find that all on the Grindbin Patreon for as little as $2 a month. And I'd like to announce today, Chris, as of right now, the Grindbin All-Star tier is sold out.
Holy shit,
we
really?
have 5 people who are Grindbin All-Stars,
God.
including one of the Grindbin, a couple of the Grindbin 4s.
Wow.
Are on Grindbin All-Stars.
Our Grindbin forefathers.
Yes, and I would just like to say right now that our good friend David from Australia has joined the Grindbin All-Star tier. And you know what?
Yeah.
He's got movies for us to watch, Chris.
Oh, fuck.
And you know he recommended Lunch Wagon. So I'd like to say hello to all our Grindbin All-Stars right now. John Corbin, David from Australia, Chuck, good old up Chuck, the Arn Anderson of this podcast, and Dr. Faustus, all Grindbin All-Stars.
David's,
is that 5?
Yeah, something like that.
Chuck, Dr. Faustus, John Corbin, David from Australia, and another person, I don't know, I don't have his name. It's GWC308.
Wait, is that the same person that reviewed this movie on the...
No.
Okay.
But thank you to all our Grindbin All-Stars, and thank you to everybody else who joins the Grindbin Patreon. We really appreciate it. And if you heard in the beginning of this episode, there was a commercial for our good friend Dr. Faustus, one of our Grindbin All-Stars. He has a website. You should go check it out.
Yeah. And any of you Grindbin All-Stars or anyone above the tier, check it out. If you have not received your Blair Vember pin, let me know. We got some remaining, and they will go to you guys first before they go to the general public, which are undeserving to them, but you guys deserve it more.
Exactly.
Yeah. In fact, I pee on them like Montreal pees on their own.
Peeing on them like a Montreal dog over a grate.
Bobby, pop the top.
Place where the action never stops. Climb with me and we can fly right to the top. There's a whole lot of room up here, so get in. There ain't a whole lot of time left, and everybody plays to win. Everyone knows where everyone goes. When you're feeling down, you can come around.
Got no real rhythm.